Welcome to My Life, My Choice, coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of September, 2018, and the hour is 1 p.m. My name is Dr. Wendy Dearborne, and I will be your host for the next 60 to 90 minutes. And my co-host is Olivia Lashley, coming to you live from London in the UK. Well, guys, welcome to the show, and this show is all about you. It's all about me. It's all about us creating the lives that we want to create through the power of our understanding of the universal laws, that's laws plural, laws of attraction, and our choice. So that being said, Olivia, well, darling, you did catch my reggae music, man. But you love my song, man. Reggae music. I can't even say it. You know, like how people try to speak, West Indian or Jamaican, and they just ain't got it. I try so hard to do that, but I can't do that. But anyway, darling, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Wendy. I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Top of the world, top of the morning to
you. You actually sound it today.
I sound chipper, do I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, no, today's been actually a really good day. Liz.
Okay.
I don't know if I said on air before, but the building where I have my office has been sold, and sort of like the new owners of the building, who of course will be my landlords, as it were. They are attorneys and actually are one of, if not the oldest law injury, sort of outfit in Nevada, which is nice. And I got to meet them, or at least the head cheeses, as it were, because they had a meet and greet this morning. And it's really funny because I thought, I'm not going to go, blah, blah, blah. And then Dee said what he had to say, and then I said, well, it all depends on how I feel in the morning, because I actually had a haircut scheduled for 10:30, and so the meet and greet was from 8:30 to 10:30, and so they had it set out on the lawn, and have coffee and that. So I woke up bright and early, and I was like, okay, got up and all of that, yada, 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 and off I went. So I was really, really glad I went. It was very nice meeting the faces behind the, the new, or my new landlords, as it were. And the other thing that I thought I really liked is that the gentleman or the attorney, the man who really purchased the building, behind the purchase of the building, his brother is the actual building manager, and I like that because they got skin in the game, and as they said, they're not going to be absentee landlords; they are tenants too, and so it makes a huge difference. It absolutely makes a totally huge difference, rather than having a management company handle everything.
Absolutely.
Then I went and got my hair cut, and dude was on point. I was like, yes. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. I was like, yes. It was on point. So, now I'm feeling good today. Today, all round, so far has been a good day, and it will continue to be an excellent day. So, that being said, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. That's all I can really say.
I'll get up on top of it with you. Come on. No, are you feeling better, love?
Yeah, I do. I feel a lot better. A lot better.
Okay. All right. Good. Glad to hear it. So that being said, outside of that, nothing new in my world outside of feeling on top of it, which I really do like. So I'll get right into it. Are you prepared to pay the price? And we've actually done a show on this, definitely something similar. Are you prepared to pay the price for what you want? And guys, I'll just read the synopsis. I always do this, and I always say the same thing. I'll just read the synopsis. Here we go. When people are prepared to pay the price for anything, most people really think in monetary terms. Paying the price for what you want in life is really about you, your spirituality, and using your spiritual currency. While he didn't coin the phrase, because I did a little research on this, while he didn't coin the phrase, Dr. Joseph Murphy states in one of his many, many books, he's got about 30 books, and he kind of, I think there are only a few you won't actually hear this, but in one of his many books, he did coin the phrase, there are no free lunches, and it's true. There is a cost for everything that you do. And as I put here, even breathing, there's a cost for you to breathe. So with that in mind, are you prepared to pay the spiritual cost using your spiritual currency from your invisible bank for what you want in life? So guys, there is always an exchange of some description for anything that you gain in life. Because we are energetic beings, and because everything is energy, and I mean everything is energy, in order for you to get what you want, there has to be an exchange of energy. There has to be a movement of energy. As you've heard us say on this show many, many times before, no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. So in order for you to really get something that you want, you need to free up something so something can come in. This is why many people will give the analogy, if you have a closed fist, nothing comes in and nothing can go out. In order for something to come in and something to go out, you have to open your hand. You have to open your hand. And not only that, in opening your hand, you have to know what it is that you are wanting to happen once you open your hand. You see, your intention and the attention that you give your intention is paramount. The more the more attention and attention with detail that you give to your intention truly ups the chances of you actually manifesting what you want. And you see, giving your attention to your intention doesn't necessitate that the thing that you want, you need to know it down to how many nuts and bolts or staples or what have you. You don't need to know it in that degree. When I talk about giving attention to your intention, what I'm speaking about truly is the universal law of discipline. How disciplined are you in just staying focused on what it is that you want? Backing up a little bit, many people, when you say, are you prepared to pay the price? When you use the word price in monetary terms. But as I've said here in the synopsis, your life is so far beyond monetary terms. And yes, money is one of the universal laws of exchange. So what I mean, the same thing with opening your hand. Something comes in, something goes out. Money is a true representation of that, although it is not the be-all and end-all of your life, although many people feel it is. And as a result, this is how it manifests in their life. But money isn't the end-all and be-all. Again, as listening to Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, I'll look for it. Let's see, I'll be able to give you the title. I listen to so many books. In listening to, at least I think it was, in listening to Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, and I'm going to give you the title right here, guys. Oops. Evil will appear. That's not where I was going. It is, the title that I was listening to was Maximize Your Potential Through the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And that's by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And one of the things that I decided to do, based on a book that I had been listening to, there was the author, and the author was quoting all this stuff, and I'm like, but you didn't say this. And so I had said to you, Liv, in it, that I need to make sure that I stay vigilant and give it up as to where I have heard this information. So the book that I'm talking about.
Go on.
Go ahead, love. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
sometimes
it's, because I said this to you when you said it, sometimes it's really hard to to remember where you've heard it. And sometimes
Mhm.
because you hear it and it's like it hits you in the right place and you're like, yes, I get that, I understand. It becomes part of your psyche, and we don't actually realize that we're actually quoting someone because it's become ingrained. It becomes part of who we are. So
Yeah.
it's not always done deliberately. It's just, I just, as you said, being vigilant about when we
Yeah.
are doing it. But I think the most important thing is that the message gets across, really,
Gets across. And
because
I
I'm
agree.
pretty sure even how it is put across by the person who originally said it in that way, using those specific words, times before that there's someone else who said it but in a different way, and there'll be times it's just changing a few words around, and it's a different thing. So I don't think it's something that we do deliberately or people do deliberately. It's just how it is. It's just how Can I also say sorry, were you going to say something about that?
No, go ahead, baby. No.
Because
Go
you
ahead.
said you said about the exchange, about not getting what you want, not gaining. Okay, but there's also an exchange in when you don't get what you want, right? Because there's still a constant movement of energy.
Movement.
And when it feels like you don't get what you want, it's a byproduct of the exchange of energy between you and your thoughts and your beliefs and your reality. So whether you get it or you don't get it, it's still an exchange. You're still kind of paying the piper either way. So that's
and
what
that's
I thought.
true. For anything that you do, and you're right, Olivia, you're paying the piper, and that's for anything that you do in life. Because backing up to what I was saying, most people, when you start talking about price, most people, they're like, oh, they think in monetary terms. But your life, as I said before, guys, just to reiterate and backtrack, your life is so much more than just monetary terms. And again, backing up into this, most of what we do based on the manifestation of things that we have, it is as a result of money exchanging hands. The cell phone, the desk, the car, whatever. Money has exchanged hands. And so therefore, when we talk about paying the price, we're talking, people look at it as money. But again, guys, you are so much more than money. Your energy. Money is just something, money is a manifestation that you can see as energy. It's energy in a manifested form. Spiritual currency. Your spiritual currency is something that's really important, because your spiritual currency truly is the thoughts that you have, the coins, spiritual coins, the thoughts that you have, and your spiritual currency is dealing with what are you prepared to give up so that the thing that you want, this thing that you want, you can have. Your spiritual currency, and I think I just brushed over this, is your spiritual currency is you being disciplined. That's a spiritual currency. That's spiritual coinage. You being disciplined. Spiritual currency is making a choice. Spiritual currency is using your imagination. Spiritual currency is forgiveness. Your spiritual currency are the universal laws, and I say laws plural. They're the universal laws of attraction. This is, the universal laws that are used with intention on your attention so that you can attract into your life that which you say that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to understand that you're using spiritual currency all the time. You open your mouth, you just dropped a dime on it.
Yeah.
And is this the currency that you want to use? Spiritual currency is so important. Go ahead, babe.
Because I think, because kind of like, your thoughts are free, but your reality will show you the price that you pay for your thoughts. They'll show that the smack bang in your face. It will show you the price you're paying for the thoughts that you have. So, as Wendy says, and it's actually the law of discipline for me is a hard one.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, because it is. I find myself even, sitting here talking. I'm thinking. I remember I was doing something a couple of weeks ago. I was really concentrating on the thoughts that I was having and then putting them in check. And I just thought here when you said discipline, I thought I actually haven't been doing that. It's just so easy to get distracted. With the humdrum of life, it's just so easy to get distracted. So that's one of my sort of like nemesis. Definitely for me, is the discipline.
And for me, Olivia, on a personal level, I've really started to lock down on that, like the universal law of discipline, because without it, you truly have nothing. The universal law of discipline is the precursor to you actually getting what you want. If you watch a baby or a toddler and they're trying to walk or they're trying to feed themselves or they're trying to draw or do whatever it is, you'll see that they'll get up, they'll fall down, they'll get up, they'll fall down, they'll hold on to the coffee table, they'll hang on to your pull on your clothes so your clothes start falling off of you. They're hanging on, but they're disciplined. And each day they come back, because at the end of the day, they don't start walking most kids, they don't start walking in a day. You'll see that you realize, they're trying to pull themselves up. Okay, all right. Now they've pulled themselves up. They understand that they are now steady on their legs. But it took a couple of goes for them to realize. And it's discipline and the desire to be able to walk that has got them there. This is what has got them there. It's discipline. Get it doing this. Discipline is repetitive, but it's a repetitive motion. And I'm going to read something about discipline. It's a repetitive motion that will get you to where you need to be, because every time you do something and you repeat it and it becomes more familiar to you, you become stronger in the discipline, or you become stronger in the practice. Discipline changes with you, but the actual fundamental core of discipline doesn't change. You do. It's like I'm saying all the time. The universal laws are immutable, but they're malleable. They'll bend around you. If you choose to be as disciplined to say you're going to work out every day for an hour, then this is what you'll do. Discipline will work. If you say you're going to be disciplined enough to work out once in a while, discipline will work with you. It's what you choose to do, guys. This is why it's so important for me that at least you do your due diligence and run this through your head and do your own research, etc., to realize that the universal laws of attraction aren't going to do anything for you. The universal laws aren't going to do anything for you. But yet still, they will support you when you choose to do for you. This is something that I talk about frequently with the women that I work with. Understand clearly that the universal creator that resides within you is part of your co-creation process. If you don't do, the creator can't do. You see, creation is waiting on you. Creation is waiting on you to exercise your divine right. One of the purposes that you're here for, and that's to make choices in the best interest of self, for self. It's about your expansion. It's about your spiritual expansion. It's about your universal expansion. It's about you understanding who you are in this magnificent place we call the universe. And only you can do that. I can't infuse that into you. But backtracking here or backtracking or going back to the universal law of discipline, yes, Liv, I'm with you on that. And what I've literally I'd been watching, I'm always watching my spiritual, as I call them, my spiritual and inspirational videos on YouTube. And this guy happened to be, I think he was Navy. And he was giving a talk, and he was saying that the thing that I took away from this is when you are doing something, complete it. When you're doing something, complete it. Be disciplined to complete it. And this is why he's been telling, when he was definitely in the military, the younger ones coming up, make your bed. Starts your day out. When you get out of bed or wherever you've been sleeping, make it, put it back to right. It starts your day out as finishing something. You've completed a task, and it opens the way for you to continue on. This is discipline. And he was literally, for me, talking about discipline. It can be, as you said, Olivia, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge. And again, one of the things that is really important, how much are you prepared to pay for what you want? Are you prepared to pay the spiritual coinage that's required in discipline? So the universal law of discipline, by practicing discipline, one expands the entity to a greater degree. Discipline is the surest means to a greater freedom of independence. It provides focus to achieve the skill level and the depth of knowledge that translates into more options for life. It is also the prequel to commitment, because if you are committed, involves discipline, and over a period of time, discipline and commitment provide the bridge for you to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Discipline, people know it as, or a definition is activity, exercise, or a regime that develops or improves a skill, a training. Discipline as a universal law adds much value to your manifestation process. Much like belief, faith, universal law of silence, gratitude, space, we've spoken about all of those. The law of discipline is one of the universal pillars that supports you in staying focused on your objective. Again, it's about you choosing to pay attention to your intention. This discipline improves the usability, efficiency, and productivity of all the other universal laws. So again, guys, staying focused improves usability, efficiency, and productivity, which leads to manifestation of all the other universal laws. It hones and it sharpens each law's individual and collective action. Like all other laws, when not used correctly, the universal law will show you what needs to be done. And this will allow you to course correct so you can keep yourself on track. Without consciously using the universal law of discipline, it makes it much harder to navigate the law of attraction and manifest what it is that you want in your life. Using discipline promotes conscious awareness, and this is what you need, guys. Conscious awareness And it also promotes self-realization through expansion. It actually helps you to overcome limiting beliefs that are blocks to your manifestation. It also strengthens your faith and your belief in self and the universal creator and your ability to co-create. It frees you to act fearlessly on your intuition. And when you are consciously using the universal law of discipline, the universal law of discipline automatically, and this is what I love about the laws, they're like puzzle pieces that fit together. When you're using the universal law of discipline, it automatically taps you into the universal law of divine order. And believe me, everything has a divine order. Don't get it twisted. You know, what happened first, the chicken or the egg? There's a divine order in that. It supports you in organizing in a structured way that which allows the universal law of economy to get you to what you want, what you're saying you want, in the shortest, fastest possible way. It creates for you incremental flow, as Olivia says, or has said in the past, baby steps. I don't know if she's still on her baby steps, but it creates incremental flow that supports you in going the distance and arriving at your end goal. And your end goal is literally the manifestation of what you want. By practicing discipline, one expands the entity. One expands the entity to a greater degree than almost any other action. And what I mean by that, discipline is the surest way or the surest means to greater freedom and independence. It provides focus to achieve the skill level and depth of knowledge that translates into more options for you. Commitment comes or is born of discipline, and it evolves over a period of, it evolves over a period of time. Discipline and commitment provide you with the bridge to get from here to there, which is your end goal. So guys, let me pull this back up. So guys, for what you want, the price for what you want is not only discipline, which I've just, gone on about at length, but it's also being very sure and very clear about what you want. This is spiritual currency. You cannot be hear 'em, scare 'em, or you cannot be fuzzy. You need to know what you want. Do you know, one of the things that I don't know, Liv, if this has happened to you, but one of the things that has happened to me over the years, and I'm able to look back and see this with serious clarity, is that when I know what I want, I'm not really trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm actually thinking about, okay, what's next? I'm literally thinking about, okay, what's next? Not how am I going to create a vehicle for the what's next. And this is what I talk about, guys, the nuances. I'm not looking for the vehicle for how am I going to create the what next, or the next step in this process, because I know it's going to happen. So I'm literally looking for the what next. Does that make sense, Liv?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I do understand that because you said you kind of asked me whether I'm the same, and I was trying to figure out if I was, and I think so, yeah, because when I think about business, I do tend to think I know what my end goal is, and I will change up what I'm doing, but it comes to a point where I say, okay, well, yeah, what's next? What do I need to do now? So yeah, I think I do that actually. I've never thought of it like that before, but yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
And for me, this is how, for me at any rate, this is how I know that my spiritual coinage, my spiritual currency, has been spent in a way that's going to be beneficial to me. And it's all beneficial because it's all going to try to get you to where you need to be. But you don't have to take the train ride around the entire planet to get to the house next door. So I have noticed that when I am not utilizing my spiritual coinage, my spiritual currency correctly, I tend to find that I'm buying a lot of stuff that I don't need, which is something that many people have a junk drawer, many people have a junk room, many people have a junk garage, and then it goes on out to many people have storage units that are filled with things that they've bought that they'll never use.
Mm.
That's currency not being used. Actually, to be honest with you, and this is no, especially for people who do find themselves with rooms filled with stuff that they have bought, they're still in the boxes they haven't used. They're looking for something. They're looking for a spiritual side of self. They're looking for something, and they're looking outwardly, when in reality they need to turn inwardly, because inwardly is where the answers lie. Your life, as we say on the show, numerous times, your life is an internal job with an external manifestation, and that's a fact.
But they might be looking for something external that actually can flip the switch for them internally. Yes. I think that's what they're looking for. I think that's why it can be so intense. People who are hoarders, I think that's why it's so intense, because they're looking for that one thing that can ignite the spark internally. I don't think it's a conscious thing. I think it's a subconscious thing. But I think that's what that's about, I believe.
And no, I agree with that. And that's for anybody who has an addiction, because believe me, shopping like that is an addiction. I mean, it's like alcohol. It's like, whatever. It truly is an addiction. And are some addictive behaviors, do they have I'd say worse side effects? Yeah, I'm inclined to think so. But an addiction is an addiction is an addiction, and at the end of the day, it's a road. It's a road to somewhere, and a road to nowhere. You need to know where you're going. With that, if you don't know where you're going, you can go around the whole planet and still wind up outside your front door and still have the same issue that you needed, which was to get to next door.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's important to know what it is that you're actually looking for. I think that's particularly because I'm thinking about like hoarding. I think it's important to actually figure out what you're looking for. That can be the beginning to the end, because what you're actually looking for may actually already be in your collection. It's just you don't realize it. The other thing I would say is, like, people have junk drawers and what have you. Personally, I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not talking about hoarding. I'm just talking about, you have a drawer that's got stuff in that you don't know that you need. And why I don't have a problem with it is there's so many stuff, particularly for business, that I have bought. I didn't know why. I don't buy much stuff just because I usually have a purpose for it. But there's things that I have bought, and I just bought them. I saw them. I thought, okay, let me get that. And then, it might be a year, it might be 2 years down the line. It's like, oh, I've got one of those, and I have to go and find it, and I've got it, and it's there, and I can use it. So I'm a little bit thinking about the junk drawer, because I think that depending on what the purpose was, why, like subconscious purpose of the purchase or the getting the actual thing, there's a reason behind it. And it may not, it's a bit like, trying to achieve something, and you sort of, like the baby steps. And sometimes, the step might go from 1 to 10, and you're on step 3, and you don't actually realize that you're actually on the journey but you are on you're just on step 3. And so, like, you can, like, for me,
yeah.
I can have something there, and I don't realize I'm on step 3. But in step 7, that's when I'm going to need that thing that I bought in step 3. So for me, it just all ties together. And there's a difference between, as I said before, there's a difference between hoarding and having a junk drawer. Absolutely.
Having a junk drawer. Well, recently, one of the things in regard to that, one of the things that had happened to me recently, because for those of you new to the show and or not, I used to literally customize a product for people, and that was part of my business, part of my aromatherapy business. And I decided to stop, and I stopped doing that. And recently, I went to go and get my hair cut. And I was talking to the young lady, and, there's more than some keep remote shots, And she was talking, and next thing you know, we were talking about, helping, I was talking about helping her to customize a hair care line, which is something really I can do. And I said to her, do you know, about a month ago, literally, I cleared out underneath my stairs, which was my storage area for products, bottle. I cleared it out. And that stuff, I let it go. Because I was thinking, I can put some of this on eBay. I can do this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, something, if I stop to do this, it will never get done. So I returned it to the universe. Thank you, with blessings. So about, I don't know, maybe about 6 weeks later, up she pops with this. Now, I don't have any of this stuff. So I turn around and I buy all this stuff because, first of all, I thought, well, when do you want to customize? So I said, no. What I will do is I will help her to find the best companies where she can get her own, her private label. And I'll research the companies and find out how they customize, yada, yada, yada. So I ordered all this product, on top of it, all these bottles, so that she could have samples and yada, 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 yada. Well, lo and behold, even while I was doing that, my brain was saying to me, is this something that you want to do? Well, because I have actually promised to do this, I was going to see it through. And once I saw it through, I was going to say to her, this is all the information. It's done. It's a turnkey. You just keep it going from there. It's a turnkey. And so according to her, I had an appointment with her, and this was maybe, 4 weeks ago or something. I had an appointment at 10:30, and I'm usually very, very good about that, Olivia. I mean, I've got if I have appointments, I put them in my Go reminders. I get an email, I get a text, 2 texts, I get all this buzz right before. So she texts me, am I coming to my appointment? I'm like, no, blah, 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 whatever. So long story short, I said to her, I've got all your stuff. And I didn't hear from her. And I was like, when? That was you asking yourself, are you done? And you were so done with this. You were so done with this. And yet still you put out all this money. I've got a box sitting downstairs, which actually I'm going to put the box up. It's actually unopened. And it's got jars, it's got bottles, it's got pumps in it. I don't need it. I absolutely don't need it. And so in regard to the junk drawer scenario, what this did for me was literally, Wendy, is this something that you want to do? Is it truly something that you want to do? And I say in regard to the junk drawer scenario, what I'm talking about truthfully here is the spiritual currency that I paid, the spiritual coinage that I paid. I paid spiritual coinage and actually monetary coinage for something that I didn't truly want. And so moving forward from there, the lesson that was given to me, or the lesson that I chose to take from that, That is, and hear me clearly, the last time I will do that. That's the last time I'm going to spend my energy, which is currency, doing something like that. Not doing it anymore.
But
not doing it anymore.
Wasn't it more for you to be in a consultation role rather than actually producing the product? Okay.
Yes.
But then you bought all the stuff.
Yes, because that's something that I said that I would do.
Right. Okay.
As part of that process, that's something that I said that I would do.
Right. Okay.
And it's not what I want to do. I'm good at it, Liv. I'm good at it. And now the flip side of the coin is I've got some really kick-ass products for my hair. That's the other thing. I actually researched, and I've got some really, really, really nice organic products for my hair. And so on that score, I'm really happy. On that score, well, actually, I'm happy all round. But it is something that I won't do again. You know, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done in that regard, and I'm happy. I'm happy. That being said, going back to something that you had said about knowing what you want, my paraphrase, it's really important to know what you want, guys, so that you can get clarity. So you make a choice, you get clarity. You know, like, I don't know, I want a house. And then you get clear on the type of house you want. Do you want a 2-story? You know, do you want a 1-story? Do you want 4 bedrooms? Do you want 10 bedrooms? What do you want? Okay? And once you, and this is all currency. Once you've made your choice, you've just opened your purse, you've just opened your wallet, you've just started writing out a check for your spiritual currency, because you're getting ready to use energy. You're getting ready to use frequency, spiritual frequency, or the universal laws, natural laws, God's laws, prayers, whatever phrase you want to use. You're getting ready to use currency to make the thing, or to exchange, so the thing that you want can come into being. So once you've made a choice, you start out by using currency, the universal law of clarity, so that you're clear on what you want. You see, you don't need no fuzzy areas, because when things are fuzzy, or things are slippery, or things aren't formed well, it makes it difficult for you to lock onto it 100%. So your clarity will give you that 100% that you're looking for. And, you know, this is about people, places, and things. This could be about a relationship. This could be about your health. It could be about, you know, a car, a house, a job, anything. I'm literally talking about anything. It could also even be about you being able to breathe properly, being able to breathe without taking labored breath, your health. And so you get clear 100%. And you've just paid some currency to do that. You've paid the currency, the coinage of clarity, the energy or the frequency of clarity. And from there, it kicks into discipline. Actually, getting clear truly also takes a lot of discipline, if the truth be known, to use your imagination. And it takes, it's not as, it's not easy. It's actually simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. Because one of the things I was going to say is, you know, because the example you use is I want a house. And I think the conversation that someone needs to have with themselves, not putting it out into the universe, but just well, I suppose you can't really have a conversation without putting it out in the universe, but I'm just going to say it that way. It's because it's why, you know, you want a house because, I want a house because, you know, and whatever your reason is. And then when the next time you say, I want a house, it's you've kind of like said it in black and white why you want a house. So therefore, what should come back to you is what you want as opposed to a house. Because you can say you want a house, right? And you can really, there's an area you go into and it just doesn't feel right, okay? So you can get a house in that area, okay? If you say, I want a house, you can get a house in that area. But you won't be happy. It's not what you
won't be happy.
where you want to be. It's part of the puzzle won't fit right. Isn't going to fit right with you because it's not where you want to be. So if you actually take some time to say, okay, why you want a house, or why you want a house, then what you should be given is you'll be given a home as opposed to just a house.
There you go. And that's something on a weekly basis that I talk to women about. You've already had a house or an apartment. You now want a home. And this is what we talk about, guys, Olivia and myself. This is about the nuances. And the nuances are huge. The nuances are or as they say, electricity can either kill you in the chair or can give you light to read by. Water can quench your thirst or it can drown you. It's a nuance. It's still water. It's still electricity. So a home is different to living in a house. A home is huge, huge. So what I'll tell you there, guys, is do your own due diligence on that particular nuance. Are you living in a home or are you living in your house? Because you can't do both. Universal law says no two things can occupy the same space at the same time, even in your mind. Even in your mind. Once you're clear on what you want and recognize, as we just said, that takes discipline. Because you can be all over the board in your mind. Once you've honed it down, then what are you prepared to do? What are you prepared to pay to do this? Or for this manifestation to come through? What are you prepared to do for your attention to be focused on your intention, which is to have your home? What are you prepared to pay? Well, one of the things here, it can go a couple of ways. One of the things here is perhaps to ask, to literally ask. And when I say ask to ask God, universal creator, and which boils down to asking yourself, but God, universal creator, co-creator, whatever term makes you feel comfortable, to ask, what is it that I need to do now? What is my next step from here? Because if I've said this once, I know I am going to say it a million times. For as many times as I talk, as much as we are on the air, you need to know your role. You need to know that you are the what and the co-creative process that you are plugged into. The stream of creation that you are plugged into is the how. So part of the currency that you are going to spend, the spiritual currency, the energetic frequency, is staying attuned and focused on your what. What does your home look like? Because if you are doing this all in your imagination, one of the hurdles that is definitely surmountable, yet one of the hurdles that you may come up against is that your living situation might not really be conducive to you believing in the thing that you want because it's so far removed. So you're what? You could be living in the bus station, or you could be living in the park, and your shelter is the toilets in the park, or the little shed in the park. This could be your living situation, and yet still in your imagination, you have a 4-bedroom home that is central, that has central heating and/or heating, air and AC, the whole 9 yards. You have a let me see, a farm style kitchen, huge square kitchen that, you know, the whole family can gather in and yada, yada, yada. And it has the top appliances for you. But yet still your living accommodation is you don't have a bathroom. You don't have a cooker. You don't have heating. You don't have anything. And so the spiritual currency that you will be paying, and you'll be paying much dinero for this, is utilizing discipline to anchor your imagination that will hold on to you seeing, feeling, hearing, tasting, and smelling your home. This is the currency that you're going to use. Because that spiritual currency will pay for the belief that you need. So the thing that you say that you want, and I don't care whether it's a home, I don't care what it is, your health, relationship, money, whatever it is, your belief is the thing that will allow it to manifest. You see, discipline leads to commitment, faith. Faith leads to, I'm going to say, belief. Belief leads to manifestation. And in there is the universal law of divine order. There's an order to things. An acorn does not become an oak before it's become an acorn. An acorn will, an acorn will manifest into a majestic oak tree. Yet still within the acorn is the oak. Don't get it twisted. Within the acorn is the oak tree. It can be no other way. Within a seed of a pear or an avocado seed, within the avocado seed is the avocado tree that gives the fruit. Don't get it twisted. You see, the things that you want are seeds. Are you prepared to pay the price to nurture the seeds? These are things that you plant in your imagination. And for most of us, we do have a vivid imagination. We do have the ability to use our imagination. But one thing, and I'll speak from personal experience, one thing I do know is that to sustain it, to sustain it sometimes, I don't have the discipline, or I don't choose to practice, which is another universal law. I don't choose to practice or engage or invoke the universal law of discipline. I don't choose to do that. So guys, it's vitally important that you understand your role in this whole thing. What are you truly prepared to pay? And believe it or not, actually what you pay may mean that you need to carve out the time. Time is also a currency. Guys, look, everything that you do is a currency. Everything that you do has a spiritual frequency. That being said, in order for you to be disciplined, discipline might literally mean I am choosing every day for 30 seconds to feel myself in my new home. That's what I'm going to spend.
Because I had actually just written that we tend to feel that we have to do an intensive session continuously to get what we want, and we actually don't. We don't. For me, I don't think we even need to do it every day. We can set a reminder on our phone or our computer, and we do it once a week, or we do it once a month, and invariably, I think why that sometimes works better is because when we're doing it intensively, so like we're doing it on a daily basis, we can actually chop and change. There are little things we add, little things we might take away. And I think when we do it on maybe a weekly or a monthly basis, we're actually focused on the same thing. We tend not to chop and change it.
Exactly. No, and I agree with that. You see, people may say to you, you should do this daily. What I say to you is create a plan that works for you,
Yeah,
and be disciplined in that plan. As Olivia said, if you choose to do this once a month, then once a month you do this. If you choose to do this once a day, then once a day you do this, come rain or shine. The discipline should be the same thing as whatever you do in the morning. You know, you get up, you brush it, or you get up, you take a pee, you brush your teeth, blah, 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 blah. The things that you do by rote, it should become a part of that. But whatever you choose to do, follow through. Be disciplined on it. Be disciplined on it, I say, with it.
I think also to be realistic about the time frame. You know, whether you're going to do daily, weekly, monthly, be realistic, because I find, well, with myself, you know, sometimes I do an intensive thing and then I slack off. And it's like, you know, I'm admonishing myself for not doing it. Whereas if I maybe spaced it out a bit and realised that I think for me personally, it would be easier, because, you know, it's not a thing, right, I have to do this now. It's like, no, you've got time. You know, you can do it. Exactly. You've done it this month. You do it next month. You've done it this week. You do it next week. You know. Exactly.
And again, for me, Liv, and this is just for me, it's really important that you have your intention is set. Your intention is set, and that's really important. So it doesn't become hiram scarum for me.
Yeah.
And that you say, okay, I'm going to do this once a week, once a month. What works? What works for you? And if something comes up and you don't do it that week, that month, that day, that's okay. Don't create a rabbit hole in which you start burying yourself like, oh, my God, you know, I'm never going to get this because I didn't do this yesterday. What do you think? The energy's going to stop just because you didn't do that? That's not how the universal laws work. But that's how you work. And if this is your belief, go ahead, love.
I was going to say, once you started doing it, the energy's already in motion.
That's right. That's right. So it's in motion, and it will keep in motion. It will definitely keep in motion. Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate that. Thank you. I needed some water. I didn't bring any water up. Yeah, it will keep it. It will keep it in motion. I love technology because I just text him, and I thought he's not going to hear the text, so I phoned him, and so I said to him, I know if you listen to the recording of this, I don't know if you heard me. I said, water, please. And so
no,
I
didn't hear. I didn't hear.
Yeah. I said, because I thought, oh, he most probably won't hear the text, but if I phone him, he'll hear the phone. But anyway,
room service is great, isn't it, Wen?
Oh, girl, it so is. You know, you just like, hey, water. Water. And it appears the hand comes through the
manifestation, isn't it, Wen? Manifestation, yeah.
In its greatest glory, it's like, you know, the hand just came through the door. But that being said, guys, there is a divine order to everything, and creating order and organization actually helps you, or it has the potential to help you to stay in the flow. That being said, if you set your intention for what you want, and you've set your intention, and you focus your intention in a way, and it's set like this, whenever I think about this, I'm going to do, you know, a 2-minute thought process on my home, and me living in my home, or my health, and me having the optimal health that I see, I feel, you know, I hear, I taste, I smell. If you say, when you set the intention, that when I think about it, I'll do it, then this is your organization. You see, it's all about you. You don't have to fit in anybody's box. The only sandbox you need to play in, truthfully, is your own, and know your parameters. and you set the parameters of how you want to play. And this is one of the things that's important for me to tell you, and hopefully that you understand what I am telling you, I think I said that right, is that whatever you hear me say and Olivia say, we're not telling you have to do this at all. I'm not setting down a program where I say to you for 14 days you have to write out this affirmation, and then after that you have to do this, or you have to do. I'm not doing that. As I tell the ladies, at Shade Tree, if you get a handout from me, if you get, a printout from me with any direction, you must know that I have come to the conclusion the only way in which I can get my point across is by doing that. Other than that, you have your own mind. Use it. Use it. What I do want people to understand is this, that as it has been said, it started out by there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. There are no free lunches. Whatever you do, there is an exchange. Even when you breathe, the exchange starts with the motor nerves choosing to affect the diaphragm, which will expand or contract the lungs, and then making sure that your airways are clear enough to inhale and exhale. You know, there's something that's gone on. Energy has been used. Your mind, your imagination has been used. There are so many intricacies that are involved in manifesting what you want. That, and hear me clearly, that for us, where we are here, it is beyond our imagination. Because in truth and honesty, we don't need to know that part of what goes on. What we need to focus on is what we want. And most people find that so difficult. Most people find that difficult because we've been taught that we need to have a plan and you need to know and yada, 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 yada. What were you saying, love?
I think because a lot of people, including myself, can find it really difficult because it's just, as you said, it's put across as though it is so convoluted, you know, that, and I think that one of the easiest ways to do it is to condense everything. So to condense it into a couple of words, 4 or 5 words, a sentence. So affirmation is like short and sweet. Your visualization is complete and quick. So you're not sitting there, for, up 20, 50, half an hour, just sort of like visualizing or chanting or whatever it is. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that every single word that you use has an innate and direct meaning relating to whatever it is that you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be long-winded at all. Not at all. But what it is that every word needs to have meaning and directly related to what it is that you want to achieve.
And that's right. That's right, Liv. Spend your word currency, literally, wisely. Because your life is a direct reflection, a direct creation of the sum total of the words that you have used in your life. And that's some powerful stuff. Yeah. That's some powerful stuff.
So can I just get, from what I was just saying a minute ago, so like, if we're talking about like, we were talking about a house, Now, if initially to manifest a house, to manifest a home,
you got it.
Initially, what you would do is you'd figure out what a home means to you, what it feels like, and as Wendy said, what it tastes like, what it sounds like, blah 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 blah, and then. If you all those feelings you put into the word house, okay.
There you go, Liz.
So therefore, when you do your weekly, your daily, monthly, weekly, whatever it is, your visualization, your affirmation, all you would have to do is actually sit there, relax, and just say house. And everything, the word house encompasses absolutely everything that you want to manifest. And that's simple. It can be really simple. It doesn't have to be convoluted.
And that actually is, for me, an easier and cleaner way. And I say cleaner. It's a lot less, as Olivia says, convoluted. I'll go with that. It's a lot less convoluted doing it that way. And it's just one word. And that one word becomes atomic in its power.
Yes, absolutely.
To create what you want. Because it is all-encompassing. It's all encompassing because one of the things, because one of the shows here in the not too distant future really lives is what I want to do on that in regard to affirmation.
Okay.
And recognizing no, it's not just affirmations. It's really about belief, if the truth be known. And that people will say affirmations and they won't believe them. They'll say them over and over again. And, 10 years later, they're still really dutifully saying these affirmations. But the name of the game is why the affirmation isn't working, why the words aren't working, is because there's no belief behind it. There's no faith behind it. And in reading, recently, one of the things that I have come across is that, it's like, well, say the word wealth. And when you think about wealth, or you think about abundance, when you think about health, when you think about joy, when you think about happiness, when you think about love, when you say the word, something conjures up for you. And so when you say the word wealth or wealthy, there's something that comes up for you. And I'm looking for the positive. You can go the negative route if you want, but I'm looking for the positive. And when you say this word, attach yourself to that. And that opens a stream of energy that makes it easier for you to affirm that you want to be, a billionaire or whatever it is that you're wanting. Because you're already in the stream of wealth. If you cannot perceive wealth, if you cannot perceive financial security, if you can... And financial security, that comes under security. So you'd say the word security, right? And if you can't perceive it, it doesn't matter how many times you say your affirmation, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah. It's just...
this for me is a nuance. Go ahead, love.
It's a bit like,
Go ahead, babe.
like doing the visualization, the same thing with the visualization, creating a trigger. Okay, so it's like the initial work you do is the same as sort of like you would do for your affirmation. You put everything into one particular thing. So like, okay, we're talking about a house. So say like you say, okay, well, say like it's a celestial star or something like that, or water run, or a river, or anything like that, and then you put everything that you feel about a house is encompassed in the star or the river or whatever it is. And so when you do your visualization, it's that quick, it's that simple. You're just seeing the star, and that's what it is.
And it's a representation of the totality. through the door, or you don't have to go through the door. You don't have to touch the wall. You don't have to see yourself cooking in the kitchen, and then opening the back door and stepping outside and thinking, oh, the concrete's hot. You don't have to do all of that because you've done it already, and your mind will replay this for you. Your mind understands things that consciously you don't, quite as it's kept. Your mind understands this. All you have to do is program your mind. Tell your mind. You set your intention. And then use your attention.
And also what you might find is that, with the visualization, or actually with the word as well, you might just be sitting there and you'll hear someone say your trigger word or your trigger visualization.
There you go.
And what that is universal confirmation that things are set in motion, that energy is moving to actually bring to you what it is that you say you want. And that's another really good reason to actually have a single word or a single visualization, because you'll get the feedback. You'll get the feedback, because I think a lot of times, things are happening. We say we want something, and the universal stream is making it happen. But because we're not getting the confirmation back, we think, oh, nothing's happening, and then we change and we go on to something else. But when you have the one word, for me anyway, when you have the one word, you get confirmation. You get confirmation. You can be watching a television program, and you see whatever it is, or you hear whatever, you think, okay, all right, okay, yeah, universe is on it, and it makes you feel a lot better. It makes you feel more confident. Yeah, that's right, because something is happening, and what's more, you are making it happen. Which is, wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. You just told yourself something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, in dovetailing on what you said, Olivia, it's simply this, as you said, which is true. We're doing stuff, and I think having your confirmation in such a way that is recognizable to you is truly helpful in going the distance. Because as you said, Liz, and it's so true, you're moving along and it's like, well, nothing's happening. But we don't know that because we're not about the how. As it's been said, you don't plant a seed and keep digging it up to see if the roots have sprouted. You don't plant an acorn and keep digging it up to see if the acorn is, sprouted, or to see if the roots are, deep enough to hold up the sapling, or, the little tree, or what have you. We don't do that.
Sorry, Wendy. I just wanted to say this. The other thing is you don't keep watering it, because if you keep watering it, it's going to die, right? No, but it's true. It's like we keep putting energy onto it and onto it and onto it and onto it. And, energy can make things stop working.
Too much.
Yeah.
Because if you keep watering something that doesn't require it, it talks about your lack of belief.
Actually, that's very true.
It talks
very,
about
very
your
true.
lack of belief.
Absolutely.
You don't believe it's going to work, so you feel that you have to keep doing this in order to keep it alive. It's so important to let go.
Yeah.
Let go and allow the divine order or the divine process to take place. Let go.
Yeah.
When we don't let go and we feel we have to be in control, it's because we don't believe. We truly don't believe that we can co-create, or we truly don't believe in the creation process. So let go. Let it go. You come back to it. For my plant, we all have an understanding. You need to stay alive until your next, you get watered the next time. And they are so glad to see my housekeeper. I know they must do the hallelujah dance, because sometimes the difference between life and death, I think, for my plant is the housekeeper. You know, it's my housekeeper, and it's really ironic. After she's been, I'm always like, oh, I should really water my plants, and I'm like, oh, that's my water, my plants. Thank you. And I know they're like, yo, wench. But I do love them, so I do love my plants. But no, it's really, really important, as you said, Olivia. You know, don't keep watering it. Don't keep adding energy to it, or trying to throw energy to it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like people who throw money at a problem. Money isn't the problem. Money. You think you could throw money at everything and it take care of the problem? That is so not true. Mm-hmm. That's tantamount to what you were saying. No, absolutely not. No. So guys, don't keep digging up the seeds, the desires, the wantings that you have planted in your imagination. Don't keep digging them up to see if they've taken root. Don't keep doing that. Recognize that by focusing your attention on your intention, what you're doing is you're feeding it what it needs to be fed. Mm. And again, however you choose to do this. However you choose to do this. There is no, believe me, guys, when I say to you, everybody, including myself, who is coming to you, sharing information like this, I am sharing it from my perspective and my experience. What happens for you has to be your perspective and your experience. No two people can occupy the same space at the same time. And I ain't giving up my space, so you need to get your own. Is that true? Are you giving up your space, Liv?
No. There's enough room for everybody, doesn't there? No one needs to give up their space. No one.
Exactly. So, you know, don't be a clone. And even if you are a clone, you could never be the original. You're not the original article. So it's important for me. This is why I do what I do, and I talk about the nuances. It's important for you to do your own due diligence. There's nothing wrong with being inspired, as I have said on this show many times. Many of the people who inspire me, they're dead and they've been dead. Okay? They're dead. Made their transition. But their work lives on as a source of inspiration for me. They say, knock, and the door will be open. Seek, and you will find. And this is what this is for me. A source of inspiration. I'm knocking, I'm seeking, doors are opening, and I'm finding. So guys, are you prepared? Are you prepared to pay the price for what you want? Do you understand the currency that you are using? Do you understand that what you are using is more than it's more than money? We're talking about your spirituality, and we're talking about spiritual currency. Spiritual currency, spiritual coinage, spiritual dollars, whatever term makes you feel right, literally translates to the universal laws and how you choose to use them. Recognize there are no free lunches. Everything that you do, including doing nothing, making the choice to do nothing, has a cost. There's a price to pay in time, in energy, in time, in choice, in patience. There is a cost for everything, and it's wonderful because you get to choose. You get to choose what you use from the invisible storehouse or the invisible bank. You get to use how much spiritual coinage, how much spiritual currency, how much spiritual frequency, how much spiritual energy you are wanting to place on anything at any given time. and recognize that creative energy flows to where your attention and intention goes. Understand that. The creative process, one of its functions, immutable, it is attached to and attracted to the thing that you really say, that the thing that you believe. So for you guys, the work, the true work, that really is not easy, as Olivia said last week and always says, is simply complex. But the work that you really need to do is to make a choice as to what you want. Find your clarity, and as Olivia says, and I totally agree with that, the simpler the better. Use a one word. Use one word. One word summation of everything. One word. And then pay the spiritual coinage using discipline. Discipline's really huge, guys. Discipline is something that is your friend. It will prevent you from procrastinating. It will prevent you from doing so many things that are counterintuitive to what you want. The other thing I would say is, if you find yourself all over the board, what it means is that you haven't really clarified 100% what you want. And that's okay. All that's telling you is go back to the drawing board with what you want. Define it, hone it, scrap it, whatever you need to do. However, you are going to have to do the work. People can't do this for you. You're going to have to do the work. So that being said, Liv, is there anything that you would like to add?
Something that came to me when you said knock door will be opened, something that some people say. But, if someone knocks on your door, okay, your door doesn't open instantaneopeously, okay? You've got to hear the knock. And then you've got to get up.
Yeah.
You've got to go to the door. You've got to turn the handle. You've got to open the door. So knock and the door will be opened, but don't expect it to be opened instantaneously. It's exactly. There are processes that need to go on. I mean, the person that's standing on the other side of the door, they don't see all the stuff you're doing. Getting up, opening the door. They don't hear all that stuff. They don't see all that stuff. So and that's where we are. We're on the other side of the door, so we don't know what's going on. As Wendy said, we don't know the how.
Exactly.
So we just have to be patient and know that the door is going to be opened. It will be opened.
And aren't most people patient after the first? You ring the bell once, twice, but you ring the bell the first time. Most people stand patiently waiting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You knock on the door and you stand patiently waiting, unless you're like some people where I have to ask them. They knock on my door. I say, you paying the mortgage here? you knocking on the door like you live here? You think I'm joking? Don't knock on my door like that. You don't pay the mortgage here, right? So most people, when they knock on the door, they're really patient. They wait patiently, and then they'll knock again. Sometimes maybe a little bit more impatient, and then they'll wait. And when they realize that this door isn't open, what they do is they turn around, they walk off, and they do something else.
Mm. Which is what we tend to do.
Exactly. Don't dig up the seeds that you've planted in your imagination. Don't dig up the seeds that you've put out there. Don't dig up and or around the creative process. Don't mess with the co-creative process. Once again, know your role. Know your role in the co-creation process. Understand, like before we wrap up yesterday in talking with the ladies, one of the women said, that one of the reasons why they are in, sort of like the shelter, the homeless facility, etc., is because they had made a miscalculation in their finances. And, Liz, I'm listening. And then I said, and of course they were talking about being able to manifest, because they were saying that the actual quad or wherever they were had a lot of people in there, and they are Christian and of a religious persuasion, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying that what she was able to do was to be able to move these people out, so that she wouldn't have to listen to them swearing and all this jazz and the noise. And so I said to her, here's the deal. If you can do that, you can manifest what it is that you want. And she said, yes. That basically she was going to manifest where she doesn't miscalculate. And I said, well, basically, paraphrase, you say that you believe in the word. The word says that abundance is yours. Your cup floweth over. So no matter what you do, there's no miscalculation, and you should never, ever find yourself in this position if you believe. And she actually got it. And some people are a little offended, because I usually start telling them, this isn't a warm and fuzzy class. If you want warm and fuzzy, you need to go to somebody else's class, because you're here because of what you've done. Now let's undo it. And so it's really important to understand, guys, she was being shown that she can manifest. Now manifest what you want. Don't put parameters on it. The abundance of the universe is yours. Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. So on that note, guys, are you prepared to pay the price for what you want? If you're not prepared to pay the price, you ain't going to get it. If, what they say, never mind the quality, feel the width. You don't want to do that either. Don't do it. Don't do it. Pay the price. Know that you're using the universal laws. Use them well. Use your words well. Use your words well. So that being said, I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborne. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of My Life, My Choice. And my co-host has been...
Olivia Lashley from London.
Olivia Lashley.
I'm done.
Olivia Lashley, London in the UK. She's actually an expressions coach and, of course, a laws of attraction coach. That being said, guys, Dr. Wendy Dearborne, yours truly. Love you, sis. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see your face in the place next week. And don't hang up, Olivia.
I'm going to hang up because I don't like the music. Bye, guys. Bye.